What's going on, gamers? That's right, I had an interview with the lead game designer and the creative director for First Descendant, and it was nice. I asked some questions, I got some answers. Can't wait to show you this. Also, thank you to the devs for inviting me to that interview. It was a lot of fun. And also thank you to all of you viewers for watching the First Descendant videos. Hey, we're getting noticed, right? Anyways, without further ado, enjoy this. I asked pretty simple questions. I took some feedback from you guys, the comments on videos, and I wanted to ask some important questions for upcoming content. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. I'll see you guys next time. First question: do you plan on changing the research times for Descendants, weapons, or something like catalysts and activators?
Not exactly. We don't have a specific plan for that, but we did have a Q&A session on Discord, and we received many opinions about that, especially for more slots or shorter time with multiple element researches and things like that. So we have been quite conservative towards that, but we are actually in the process of reviewing at this point. And in the future, we're also considering making the research available in other places as well, so that the players can research more things. But that's also something we're considering.
That was another one of my questions. Would there be a change so that we can research more than one catalyst or one activator at a time? Because sometimes it's nice to have a few catalysts on you so you can level a Descendant and a weapon at the same time.
I mean, yeah, for sure, definitely. I mean, we've also, it's actually an extension of what the previous answer was giving you. We are thinking about adding more slots, multiple researches, having, one catalyst or activator researched in multiple quantities. All these are in consideration, and we're also thinking about how to deliver this in a very good way for the players. And this is something that we're internally talking about.
Thank you. Next one, boss arenas. It seems like every single boss is just in the same old one big arena. Any changes coming to boss fights?
Now, just to clarify your question, is your question about the Void Intercept battle and
Yes.
environment, or the battle itself?
The Void Intercept battle, like the arena.
Yeah, the environment, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we can just give you a little bit of information about the new Intercept battle Abyss in Season 2. Our goal was to give the players that they haven't experienced yet, and we've made some changes to the existing map, so that will be a part of that. Also, with the battles, we're also trying to give a new experience to the players. With the new boss, we added a reflex mode. Now, in this reflex mode, the bosses attack much stronger, and in order to defeat the boss, the players need to target the weak points, and in order to destroy that or remove the weak points, the main goal would be ending the reflex mode for players. So this is going to add a good, challenging element to the battle.
Thank you. Any plans to add more incentive to grind? Like, once you feel like you've got one good weapon, it feels like the community feels like they don't have to grind for something. I could use an example here. Players didn't want to grind for the Enduring Legacy. They just kept the Tamer. So like finding ways to encourage players to keep grinding the game so I can tell them what to play. And like, we have normal mode, we have hard mode, but maybe something like a third level to kind of beef up the incentive to keep going, pushing yourself.
Now, I guess we can start from the macro perspective to your answer. To your question. Basically, as the dev team sees the First Descendant as a collecting game, right? You have all these descendants and different weapons. You can, use one descendant and one weapon to go until the end game, end content, and finish that. However, it's really fun and interesting for you to collect different things, different weapons, and different descendants, and try to utilize them in the game. But while servicing our game live, we thought that just having these descendants and weapons available is probably not enough for the players to keep going. And a lot of players also prefer having just one descendant and one weapon just for the sake of finishing the game, right? So we're trying to, we also feel the need to give a depth to growing the descendants, and also give depth to the grinding perspective of the game as well. So in Season 2, we've given contents for reactor enhancements and weapon enhancements to give that kind of depth. And in the upcoming update, after Season 2 big update, we're also planning some growth-related content that will, give depth to grinding. And just a sneak peek to the future updates. We're also trying to figure out a way to give a content where people can be really satisfied and feel happy that they have collected, certain weapons or descendants. This is something that we're internally discussing a lot, just so that people can feel proud of what they've collected in the game. So just so you know. Yeah, but it's something we're internally discussing, and just a sneak peek for you.
Good, yeah. Is trading or clans coming?
I mean, we think that trading systems probably a little too early to be added to the game, because we think improving the game, stabilizing the game, adding content, also solidifying the end content is probably our priority at this point. And once that's nailed, then we can start thinking about adding the trading system in the game. Currently, we've added the ETAO to handle the leftover items of the players, and we'll try to utilize that to circulate the in-game currency for now.
I agree with that. I feel like adding trading too early could take away some of the grind.
In terms of clan, it's in the long-term plan for us. Just like what we've just said, it's really about expanding the content volume at this point. That will be the priority for now. We've seen some of the plans available in other games, and we're thinking about what will be the perfect format of the clan that's great for the first Descendant internally at this point. And if we do add clan to TFC, we think it may be similar to the clan available in Warframe. We think that thinking of characteristics of our game, that will be a good format for us, so that the clan members come together for a common goal, reach that, and grow the clan. We think that would be a good direction for us.
Nice. With the new reactors, how you changed them with the mounting, do you feel they're in a good spot, or should you be able to change like the bottom sub perks so that people don't feel like reactor farming feels like a chore?
I mean, initially, what we think is that the players may have thought the reactor farming is like a chore. It's probably because some of the optimizations that we have to do for the reactors. For season 2, we've made some changes with the reactors so that it's not applied to a particular weapon. It's now the whole class system. So for example, it's not just for the Thunder Cage, it's going to be for the submachine gun. And with that change, the difficulty of the farming will go down a little, and the players will be a little more motivated. We're also thinking about some ways to improve the reactors as well. First of all, we have some issues of, the fire attribute weapons having the tool attribute. Some of these issues will need to be improved for sure. We're also thinking about adding some sub options and also reroll for that. And after these updates, we're obviously going to ask for feedback, right? We just need to know whether these contents were played in the direction and intention of the development team. And we're also, considering developing our future plans based on these feedback. So we would love a lot of feedback from the players.
All good stuff. Any open world encounters on the map, like world bosses or mini timed events?
I mean, that's probably going to be after season 2, but I guess the details we're considering internally would be adding more areas or more field-oriented events, especially in the trailer that we've released recently. You might have seen Colossi in the field. This would be our vision and also a long-term goal. So, to summarize, we'll probably add more field events and just keep on adding content.
This is kind of like a two-part. One, do you feel that you're releasing enough content with each season? And I follow it up with maybe more like weapons or armor sets. I feel like we're just using Annihilation and Slayer set in every build. So it's like when one set comes out, each installment, that it doesn't feel like it's going to replace something. There's no diversity.
In terms of the diversity, right? It's just that our contents are categorized into 2 big sections, right? One would be hunting. Another would be intercept battles / bosses, right? And the players are using weapons and descendants in these 2 big categories. And we believe that, there has to be more ways to utilize a variety of things in the game, right? And in order to achieve that in the game, we believe we just need to give more types of content in the game. And by adding different types, more types of content, we be able to give that variety to the game. We do feel that we don't have enough types of content, and we need more weapons and descendants and all kinds of stuff like that. So in order to achieve that, we're adding more members to our development team. We recognize the fact that for core players, there's not enough content for them to play the game, and it would be unfair for us to force these players to play longer. So what we can say is that even in season 2, gradually we'll be adding more content by updating. 2 new descendants are coming this season. And after that, there will be bigger volumes of updates as well. So that will be continuous. We're just really looking for ways for the core players to enjoy the game, and that's really our main goal. And in the process, we're trying many new things, but at the same time, we want to stay true to the hack and slash style of combat of TFT. But at the same time, we're trying to find new ways to add more content.
Mechanics are good, and I can see that in the diversity of how the game has gone since it launched, of trying new things, and just to see where the game has gone since base to now, even with the 400%. And I think you guys are doing great with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So when we all know that pesky bunny cave, and now with EXP gains that I see in some of the dungeons, have you ever thought about adding like XP weekly activities like how reactors are? So if you plan a certain activity this week, you get more XP to encourage players to try different aspects of the game, not just, hey, a new descendant, a new weapon's out, let's just go level it in this area and only this area.
In terms of EXP, we believe that players can actually acquire them pretty fast through the existing content that we have in TFT. And really, technically, core players have already collected all the descendants and all the weapons available. Having this more EXP available in game content, it will help the new users. We believe it will be a good onboarding system. However, for existing players and core players, we're not really sure how effective it's going to be. So I guess, and where you're coming from, my understanding is that it's probably because that farming and getting the EXP is just a little tedious and repetitive. And you're just finding new, refreshing ways to achieve that. So we'll probably answer in that light. So in season 2, we are applying random matching in the infiltration operation. What we can do here is fix the completion reward and amorphous material you get, but you will encounter different maps for different attempts. So this will shorten the matchmaking time. But because you encounter different maps, this is going to be very interesting and have the players engage a little better in the process. And really, after all these seasons and different content updates, we believe that we will provide different ways to collect EXP. And ultimately, what we want to achieve in TFT is have that different style of content for the players so that they can choose these contents based on their preferences. So, player A might go for this and player B might go for different content. It's our goal to create that kind of this environment so the players can play the game for their style.
Where would you like to see the goal to see the game achieve in the next year?
I guess it's not really about the metrics and numbers. It's really going to be about enhancing the gameplay. First of all, it would be a larger volume of content available in the game and updates so that we can entertain our core players in varied ways. And secondly, it would be a more diverse gameplay. Like we said, we only have hunting and boss plays. That's the 2 big main categories, but we would love to add more categories into that so that people can tap into more varied descendants and weapons at the same time and really find different builds and utilize them with strategy. We're really trying to solidify the game in that way. And, ultimately, other contents are fun, but we believe that fun of collection in the game is a main attribute that we like to promote, so that this becomes a core entertainment for the players, something that they can show off in the game and just feel really proud and make it a goal in their gameplay. That's what we would like to achieve as a development team.
I see that they are pushing more customization with season 2 update. How would they feel about unlocking paints permanently so you don't have to worry about re-getting them?
I mean, when we make decisions for the game, we believe, we try to reflect our user community feedbacks, and we believe that most of the decisions are based on their feedback and they're user friendly. For example, with the basic skin paints and sharing the skin among Descendants. In season 2, we have the items that were bundled in the previous season, but now can be bought separately. And these feel like, it's something that we've made decisions for the users and they're user friendly. But at the same time, as a development team that needs to continue servicing this game and continue making this game, revenue is something that we have to consider as well, so that we can keep going and create this great content and great entertainment. So in terms of that, for the great game service, obviously we reflect the user feedback, but there's some areas that players can help us out a little, right? So
I agree. I ran a business. I understand.
So, going back to the paint, right? We've had, we're helping out players so that they can share the skin among different Descendants. And once you buy one paint, then you can also apply that paint all throughout. So we're just trying to, have that, have the paint used by the players in a more varied way. And I guess that would be one example of, reflecting the user feedback.
Do you feel that there should be a separation in difficulty? Because it seems like since the game launched, there's always been, let's make this part of the game easier, and then the next installment comes out, and then we're going to make this easier. Will you try and keep the challenge in the game?
In season 2, we have a few different high difficulty battles available for players. For example, the Void Vessel Abyss, also the Heart Special Operation, as well as the Void Corrosion Control, which would be the most difficult battle in the game in season 2. And we're trying to also add more updates to give players more challenges, and also have them a chance to farm a very specific items and achieve specific growth, only available through these difficult challenges.
That was my final question. Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity. I love grinding the game. I love making the content, and it's cool to sit down and do stuff like this. Other games don't.
No, okay, that's good.
Thank you. Thank you for playing.
Thank you, Clyde. Thank you for your questions.